This now, and former eThekwini Mayor Zandile Gumede will be back, in fact has been back in court on the, she'll be back in court on the 10th of December. Her case was postponed today to allow the state to finalize the forensic audit report. Gumede and 10 other officials are facing charges of corruption, fraud and money laundering. She's currently out on a 50,000 rand bail. Let's take you to eNCA's Dasen Thathiah, who's been tracking that particular story. And Dasen, we know court appearances for Zandile Gumede are legal processes, but also deeply political processes. Let's start with what happened in court. What happened during this appearance today?
Well, to us, on the face of it, it would just be another postponement in a series of postponements that we have been seeing since Zandile Gumede was arrested last year. But in this case, there is a bit of background, and I can tell you why this particular postponement was granted. And that's because the state has now finalized its investigation, but it still has to complete its forensic audit report that will run into about 350,000 pages. Yes, you've heard me correctly on that. And that will only be completed in December. Now, the defense was supposed to bring a Section 342A application. They wanted an inquiry to look into the delays that we've seen in these proceedings since last year. But they've now agreed that they are willing to wait until December if the state could commit to finalizing that report by then. So they've given them until the 10th of December. That is what the parties have agreed on. But one of the reasons why it's been taking this long to get to this point is because this is quite a detailed investigation. You'll recall that even the figures that have been used in relation to this tender fraud have escalated since we first heard it being 208 million. It's sitting over 400 million now. So investigators have had a lot of work to do. But when it comes to the actual source documents that they've been using, that runs into thousands of pages. The financials, the bank statements, and anything that's been used to depict the flow of funds in this case, that alone is 460,000 pages. The data from the electronic devices is about 250 gigs. Now, Tulas, I'm giving you these figures just so you can understand the complexity of this matter, and that is why that ultimate report will be that long. And the importance of that report is that the indictment that is to follow that will be hinged on what that report shows in December.
Yeah, as if that's not complicated enough, right, Dasen? In as far as the figures you are giving me, the complexities, the legal complexities, you add to that the political complexities. A few moments ago, there was a man standing right behind you with a placard saying, "Stop abusing courts for political ends." And that's always there in as far as Zandile Gumede is concerned, right? What, with a conference of the region in as far as the ANC is concerned, looming?
Exactly, and that's exactly what they were saying behind me a short while ago, because she, as well as her supporters group, had engaged here outside the court. And one of the things that they said was that there would be no conference without Zandile Gumede. And as you know, she's always claimed innocence. In the past, she's mentioned that she's being attacked because she's a woman. Today, outside court here, she says that the ANC as a whole is also under attack, and the court is being used as tools. So, as we know, she has claimed her innocence repeatedly, and one of the things that she even reiterated today in court is about the fact that the state has not produced a list of charges in relation to this alleged corruption that she's involved in. So as far as she's concerned, and as far as the supporters behind me are concerned, this is a woman that is now being persecuted for no other reason than her being a woman, and for the different reasons that exist within the party, and those being of the competition that exists and the factions that exist as well.
Yeah. And who can forget, of course, the interview that she gave to eNCA's Siphamandla Goke a few weeks ago, basically talking about that move at the time to try and appoint her as a member of the provincial legislature that had been taken by the provincial ANC. Just lastly, Dasen, in terms of the mood and temper of the gathering of supporters of Zandile Gumede, we have seen previously, of course, incidents where it sort of got out of hand. But I do see that behind you today, it does seem to be much calmer.
Certainly, Chulas. I mean, there were definitely large numbers here. They had quite a bit of a wait because we were in court for about 2 hours or so. As you know, because of COVID-19 regulations, many of them, in fact, most of them out here couldn't get in. The media itself had a struggle to get in. Only 8 members, 8 of us were actually allowed into that courtroom. So the others had to remain outside. They did remain fairly calm. And after that address by Zandile Gumede, they're now just mingling here. But certainly no violence, although there are police presence here, just keeping an eye on them, although officially this gathering is starting to disperse.
All right, thank you for that. Live for us from Durban, that's eNCA's Dasen Thathiah with an update on that story.